Hey, welcome back to our continuing discussion of punishment. This time we're comparing extinction to punishment. This is easy to get confused because they're both procedures that we can employ to decrease the incidence of a target behavior, but extinction and punishment are very different in terms of what's being learned. Okay, so as I mentioned, both extinction and punishment will decrease the likelihood of a target behavior. So what makes them different? You might say that extinction is the removal or termination of reinforcement. Isn't that equivalent to negative punishment? Right, so for negative punishment, we're taking away a reinforcer. Extinction, we're removing a reinforcer. Is that the same thing? Well, no, not really. Extinction is the removal of a reinforcing behavior that's specific to that response. Negative punishment is the removal of a reinforcer as a consequence of an operation that will decrease its likelihood. So that might sound similar, but it's not the same. So extinction is when a behavior specific to that response is removed from the situation. So let's say I take a different route home, or I take a longer route home every day because there's a cat that always hangs out there, and I like to say hi to the cat. If that cat is suddenly start being kept inside and I can't see that cat anymore, then that's extinction, right? The stimulus is no longer there. So when I perform my response of walking home a certain way, the reinforcer of meeting my favorite neighborhood cat is no longer there. So I'm less likely to walk home that way. I might take a shorter route. Now let's say I take so long walking home that whenever I take this longer route to see the cat, I miss dinner. I come home too late to eat dinner with other people or whatever. That would be negative punishment, right? Because I've done something, I suffer the consequence of missing out on something that I would like. Something I like, eating dinner with other people, is removed. So I lose that. That's a punisher. Right now I'm less likely to walk home with that circuitous route because I'm going to be missing out on something if I do. Right? So there's a difference there. Extinction is the reason why I was going that way in the first place is now gone. Punishment is something else, right? A consequence of an operation that will decrease the likelihood of that behavior. I'll give another example here. But first, another way of saying that. Extinction is a lack of reinforcement, so it's kind of like a non-event, right? The behavior does not produce the expected outcome. So the behavior doesn't produce the reinforcer, so it's less likely to happen. Negative punishment is an event. The behavior produces an aversive outcome, right? More specifically, it takes away something that you would want access to or something that you would like to have. So it is an event. It's a consequence that follows a behavior rather than the absence of a reinforcer. I know it's kind of seems like a complicated point, but it's important. Critically, punishment does not result in an extinction burst, right? You're unlikely to try the behavior that's being punished with more vigor or try new ways like you would with extinction. Okay, so let's go through a different example. Let's say you really love the soda Crystal Pepsi that existed in the early 90s. I'm sure you're all very familiar with that. And you found this relic of a machine that will still spit out this Crystal Pepsi. It might be the last one. So you know that when you press a button on this machine after you've inserted your money, you will receive a delicious Pepsi, right? It happens every time. But let's say you go to your favorite Crystal Pepsi machine, you put in your money like normal, you push the button, but no delicious Pepsi is presented. That is extinction, right? You performed the response and you receive no reinforcer. However, let's say instead something else happens. You push the button, and this alerts a greedy seagull who will come and steal your chips. You know, you like to have your chips with your Crystal Pepsi. The seagull's been watching you, and now it knows. It hears this clicking noise of you pushing the button, and as a response to you pressing the button, this awful seabird will come and steal your chips. So in the first instance, we have extinction, right? Perform the target behavior, there is no reinforcement, you're probably less likely to visit this machine again. Okay? Extinction. In the second example, you push the button, a bird deprives you of something that you would like, your chips are gone, that's negative punishment, something is being taken away. Similarly, you're probably less likely to visit this machine again if you know that it's hounded by seagulls who will steal food from you. Okay, that's it for the distinction between extinction and punishment. Hopefully that's clear. I'll leave you with a little quote here from Yum Brand's chairman on the downfall of Crystal Pepsi, which is, "Would have been nice if I'd made sure the product tasted good. Once you have a great idea and you blow it, we don't get a chance to resurrect it. Well, as it turns out, that wasn't true because they did bring Crystal Pepsi back, but it didn't really catch on. Shame.